Now, in the Khalid Sheikh Mohammed trial, what we're doing is we're bringing the guy up from Gitmo and we're trying him where he committed the crime in New York City. And that is perfectly normal. It's, as Judge Napolitano explained on Fox News even, it is exactly what it says we should do in the Constitution, and it is the American tradition. Now, apparently, Republicans these days are not in favor of American tradition of our justice system and of jurisprudence. And so they decided that they're going to go in a different direction. They're going to try to scare everyone. Now, what I've asked often on the show is, hey, listen, it's one thing if Republicans do it or conservatives do it, but the rest of America shouldn't follow along. And luckily, they haven't, at least in the Chicago area. 7 different newspapers with editorials saying that the Republican strategy here is fear-mongering and unacceptable. They use words such as mudslinging, unadulterated hysteria, defeatism, and fear-mongering. Fear-mongering is the word they use most often. And then Chicago Sun-Times says, America's federal prisons are full of people who scare the hell out of us. Mob hitmen, mass murderers, and international terrorists. We do not quake in fear. We do not shelve our values. We do not cheap out on due process. A fair day in court for even the worst human beings, homegrown or foreign. No terrorist can defeat us, but we can defeat ourselves if, in our fear, we compromise on the principles that have made this nation great. So credit where credit is due. The newspapers, the media in this case, not buying the fear-mongering of the Republicans, not buying into it, not giving it equal weight, in fact, calling it out for the loathsome tactic that it is. Now, of course, undaunted by this, the Republicans charge forward. First, we have Representative John Shadegg from Arizona. In clip number 6, he's going to try to literally scare the bejesus out of everybody in the court system in New York, but specifically Mayor Bloomberg, who has said, of course, they should be brought to justice in New York. Let's watch.
We have to stand our ground. This is the time, America, to say enough is enough. We are not going to expose America's citizens, all those judges, all those clerks, all those bailiffs, all those jailers, all those police officers who have to transport somebody. And it's easy for them to say, oh, we're tough. I saw the mayor of New York today said, we're tough, we can do it. Well, Mayor, how are you going to feel when it's your daughter that's kidnapped at school by a terrorist? How are you going to feel when it's some clerk, some innocent clerk of the court whose daughter or son is kidnapped, or the judge's wife, or the jailer's little brother or little sister? This is political correctness run amok.
You know, what this is despicable. I mean, the guy is practically doing an outline for the terrorists. Maybe you should go and get the bailiff's son or daughter or sister. Okay, all right, John, I got it, okay? But in reality, it's what he's doing is, of course, fear-mongering. Be afraid, these terrorists, they're too dangerous. We can't handle them. Our system can't handle them. Our system of justice can. Apparently, New York's prison system can't. You should all be in a panic, so let's disregard the American justice system, and as O'Reilly suggested, just shoot them. He said of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the guy already admitted it. At least that's what the authorities tell me. And so let's just shoot him and be done with it. No trial. It's despicable, and it is literally un-American. Now, Shadegg, after receiving, of course, a lot of criticism for that speech, came out and at least said, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said specifically about Mayor Bloomberg's daughter being kidnapped. You think? All right, now, Representative Gohmert is not going to get one-upped on this kind of stuff, okay? He's going to take it over the top again. Let's go to clip number 5 here. Another Republican fear-mongering on the same issue.
You've got millions of New Yorkers who will be put at risk by this. For somebody like me that has put together the logistics of a court trial, you've got weak links all along the way, from the jailers, the bailiffs, the clerks, the jurors, the judge, everybody in the courtroom, their families. You've got subways, tunnels, bridges, all subject to terrorism. And unless they're trying to create a new jobs bill by allowing terrorism back in New York, then this is insane, and even that would be insane.
Yeah, you know what's insane? Claiming that you're trying to give that Obama administration is trying to give terrorists jobs in New York. That's an insane statement. And no, I mean, I looked at it and I watched it twice. I'm like, did he really just say that? And then I read a couple of articles. No, he did. He said it. He meant like, yeah, is Obama trying to create jobs for terrorists in New York? Is that a joke? Is that ha-ha? And then with the tunnels and the bridges and the bailiffs and their daughters, here we go again, right? And lions and tigers and bears, oh my. Well, they're going to come after everybody and everybody run for the hills, and we should be a nation of cowards, right? According to the Republicans, they must be peeing in their pants. I mean, they're so scared, they don't know what to do with themselves. They're like, oh my God, the terrorists are coming, the terrorists are coming. Hide the children, oh my. They're in shackles. Well, you don't believe that we have a decent military or a decent prison system that can keep a couple of terrorists in jail? I know we do, because we've had terrorists locked up in a maximum security prison in Colorado for years now. Some for decades. It's absurd fear-mongering. They're despicable. They're lower than low. So, now what's going to happen is Eric Holder is going to counter this, right? And he's going in to talk about why we shouldn't be afraid of trying Khalid Sheikh Mohammed in New York. Let's go to what Eric Holder had to say in those hearings. Clip number
Khalid Sheikh Mohammed will have no more of a platform to spew his hateful ideology in federal court than he would have had in a military commission. Before the commissions last year, he declared the proceedings an inquisition. He condemned his own attorneys and our Constitution and professed his desire to become a martyr. Those proceedings were heavily covered in the media, yet few complained at that time that his rants threatened the fabric of our democracy. Judges in federal courts have firm control over the conduct of defendants and other participants in their courtrooms, and when the 9/11 conspirators are brought to trial, I have every confidence that the presiding judge will ensure appropriate decorum. And if Khalid Sheikh Mohammed makes the same statements he made in his military commission proceedings, I have every confidence that the nation and the world will see him for the coward that he is. I'm not scared of what Khalid Sheikh Mohammed has to say at trial, and no one else needs to be afraid either. Finally, there are some who have said that the decision means that we have reverted to a pre-9/11 mentality, or that we don't realize that this nation is at war. Prosecuting the 9/11 defendants in federal court does not represent some larger judgment about whether or not we are at war. We are at war, and we will use every instrument of national power, civilian, military, law enforcement, intelligence, diplomatic, and others, to win. We need not cower in the face of this enemy. Our institutions are strong. Our infrastructure is sturdy. Our resolve is firm, and our people are ready.
Look, I love that statement. I just wish that there would be politicians, the problem is that there's no real confrontations because they're very rare, right? And they're muted because people don't really say what they're going to say, or what they should say because they don't want to offend the senators, et cetera, et cetera. The reason I say that is, look, when one of the Republicans challenged him, Holder should say what he said in that little speech there. Are you afraid of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed? Senator Coburn, is that what you're telling me? That you're going to cower in fear from a terrorist we already caught? Please don't tell me you're afraid of him. I mean, because it exposes them for what they are. They are cowards. We've already got these guys, and we're trying them, and that's what we're supposed to do. I mean, look, we had the Nuremberg trials where we tried Nazis. Okay? I mean, imagine if these conservatives were around. They'd be like, no, we can't try the Nazis. We have to shoot them in the head. And they would have destroyed a great act by a great nation that said, no, we're not going to do victor's justice here. We're going to actually give them real trials. Do you know that some of the Nuremberg defendants were acquitted? Imagine what would happen to right-wingers in this country. Their heads would blow up. They're like, oh my God! Okay, because they don't want real trials. They don't want to find out who's guilty, who's not guilty. I mean, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, we're all fairly confident is guilty, but when you get to all the different people held in Gitmo, if somebody was found not guilty, these guys wouldn't believe it. They'd say, no, kill him anyway. You think they won't? Of course they will. And, I wrote about this a couple of days ago, but then imagine what not only what they would have done with Nuremberg, what they would have done with the Marshall Plan, where we say, hey, you know what, we're going to rebuild our enemies. Yeah, we just had a war where millions of people died because these guys started the war, but we're going to spend U.S. money to rebuild them. If the country at the time was like it is today, with the rabid right wing creating such maelstroms, well, it would have never happened. I mean, they would have done their very best to make sure the Marshall Plan never happened, the Nuremberg trials never happened, and they would have ironically destroyed what makes this country exceptional.
Watch more clips at theyoungturks.com.